Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want. This is the Our Learning Series, where I share just a little bit about what our activities are, our conversations are about, or did I do a good job getting them in the, for those little stinkers. Rascals. Silly little things. Gosh, they're so much fun. What we do, what we're doing. One of the things we were talking about recently is based on something my father did with his econ class in Eastern North Carolina a few months ago. He asked everybody, handed out Post-its to everybody in the class, and asked them to write down their biggest concern. Their biggest concern for the U.S., I think it was. Okay, and then he collected the Post-its, using the Post-its so that it wasn't that a few people that spoke first or the most with the most volume got the most attention and influenced subsequent people's answers to this question. Use the Post-it so everybody, gets to write down. So we got 10 or 12 responses, and here are the responses. Biggest concerns: dysfunction in government, individual freedom, COVID, climate change, politics of government, immigration, gangs, school shootings, poverty, minimum wage, cost of living, and China. I was blown away, flabbergasted by this list. I was curious how long they've had these views. I was amazed that I wasn't amazed or shocked by individual answers at all. Not at all, but the collection of them. There were no repeats. There were a few things that were a little bit of overlap, dysfunction in government, politics in government, certainly. But there was very little overlap. And part one of these two videos about biggest concerns for the future, there were only a few things that overlapped with this list. So I was curious, what other time in history would you be able to ask this question of a very similar demographic, 18 to 25-year-olds, more or less? There are a few older folks in the class than that, in a community college, local college, Eastern North Carolina, and get 15 different answers. I was thinking, 2010, 2002, 1999, 1968, 1940, 1917, 1862. Could go on forever. 1850. Would it be possible? You couldn't find community colleges during all those dates, but to ask this question of a similar cohort and not get a lot of the same answer. Maybe, maybe not. I wasn't there to do it. But I don't think so. My instinct is no, you wouldn't. How long have each of these people in this class had this view? Did they take it on that morning? Did they take it on 5 years before? Where did it come from? Parents, direct experience, media, however they consume information or are exposed to information. Does it affect them directly, or does it affect them indirectly, or is that even a stretch? Do they understand how that particular biggest concern affects other people? Do they care? I find that where'd it all come from? Fascinated by this. In time of accelerating change, where acceleration is a change in dynamics and speed and direction, I think no physicists look at anything that I make. So, but anybody, that's like ninth grade science. Speed and direction, we've got increasing diversity, numbers of different concerns, different, it's divergent, our numbers of concerns, it feels like to me, which maybe makes sense as number of people and, values and people and interests expand, so do the relationships between those people, and so the number of concerns can also expand. Is it expanding in exponential rate? Where are we in the inflection of this? Are we at the inflection point of this curve or not? Are we still diverging in the number of? But it's taxing to have so many things to be concerned about. That's exhausting. Oh my gosh, and people were just listing their number one, and all of them are, from, local, very specific. For me, some of those concerns were for like the whole world. I hope my father in the next series of questions asks things like, where do you get your information from, and what do you find the biggest opportunities for creating a future we want, or mitigating, ameliorating these concerns that you've listed before. I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Our Learning series. What is your vision for how we communicate about our greatest concerns?